Hey everyone, welcome back to Scripture Study with Smithy. Sorry, I pushed the button and I forgot what I was doing for a second. Then, anyway, we're in Isaiah chapter 5. This is interesting because we're talking about the prophecies, right? And then Isaiah breaks off into a song. So it's interesting. Remember, Isaiah lived in the courts with the kings. He was inside the inner circle, and for four or five different kings, and before he got killed. Anyway, he says here, now will I sing, why I said that was because then there would have been lots of songs and stuff going on inside the courts with the kings, right, for entertainment purposes and that. So you can see why he might have been musical in some way as well. Anyway, he says, now will I sing to my well-beloved a song of my beloved touching his vineyard. My well-beloved hath a vineyard in a very fruitful hill. So he's kind of turning a prophet. He's singing a song in a prophetic way, if you understand what I mean there. Like he's talking about the Lord's vineyard in the song. So as we read it, just think about what it means. So my well-beloved hath a vineyard in a very fruitful hill, i.e., the prophet composes a song or poetic parable of a vineyard showing God's mercy and Israel's unresponsiveness. So in a very fruitful hill also means in Israel. And he fenced it and gathered out the stones thereof and planted it with the choicest vine and built a tower in the midst of it and also made a winepress therein. And he looked that it should bring forth grapes, and it brought forth wild grapes. It's interesting. See the pattern there that he brings up. So he establishes a vineyard in a very fruitful. So he's picked out a really good plot of land. He's fenced it to protect it from the wild beasts, for intruders, whatever. He's gathered out the stones. So you go through, and I don't know if you've seen this in farming practices, but as a journalist in the agricultural sector, you'd see go through with the plow, and they'd be plowing up the ground, and all these rocks and stones would come up, and then they'd end up sitting on top of the ground. So you've got to go and clear those all away if you want to grow a crop on it, because they're going to interfere with what you want to do. So they gathered out the stones of the field to make it clean for the crops, right? And then he planted it with the choicest vine. So he's got the best vine, and he's planting it in this ground that's been newly raked and hoed, whatever, ready to go. And he built a tower in the midst of it. So he's built a tower so that he can see over all his vineyard. And also made a wine press. So he's also prepared for a future time when the harvest is going to happen, and he's going to press the wine and make the wine. I'll press the grapes and make the wine, sorry. And he looked that it should bring forth grapes. So he's looking, like his purpose is to bring forth grapes of a certain quality and quantity, right? And it brought forth wild grapes. So it didn't quite produce what he wanted. And now, O inhabitants of Jerusalem and men of Judah, judge, I pray you, betwixt me and my vineyard. So judge between me and the vineyard. What could have been done more to my vineyard than that I have not done in it? Okay, what could he have done more to his vineyard that he hadn't done in it? He'd prepared the ground, he got the choicest vine, he had a tower to watch over it all, protect it, and he had everything set up, ready to go. Like, what could he have done more? It's true, right? There's only so much you can do as a farmer to produce the best crop. Wherefore, when I looked that it should bring forth grapes, brought it forth wild grapes. And now go to, I will tell you what I will do to my vineyard. I will take away the hedge thereof, and it shall be eaten up, and break down the wall thereof, and it shall be trodden down. And I will lay it waste. It shall not be pruned nor digged, but there shall come up briars and thorns. I will also command the clouds that they rain no rain upon it. For the vineyard of the Lord of hosts is the house of Israel, and the men of Judah his pleasant plant. And he looked for judgment, but behold oppression, righteousness, but behold, a cry. So that's interesting, verse 7 there. For the vineyard of the Lord of hosts is the house of Israel, right? And the men of Judah his pleasant plant. So he's put Judah in there. That they haven't lived up to what they were supposed to live up to, right? And it says, for B, he looked for justice, but behold oppression, for righteousness, but behold a riotous or raucous outcry. So the people rebelled and went wayward. So what is he doing to the house of Israel? He lays it waste. He destroys the borders. He takes away their tower, their walls, gets rid of it. And that's what he did to Israel, right? If you look back, that's what he's done. He'd set Judah up with kings and an army, powerful army, and they were conquered. They conquered a lot of people around them, right? And they were strong. And then they started rebelling and worshipping false gods and idols, and they became weak. And the rot of society just got ate away at them. And so they became wild grapes, not the grapes that the Lord wanted. And so he destroyed them through the Babylonians, the Assyrians, you name it, the Grecians, whoever came across, just wiped them out. And I will lay it waste, he says, and which it pretty much was, right? If you look at history before Israel became a state, going back even in the Crusade days, like it was laid waste. There's nothing there. Even in the crusading times, like the towers and the castles that would get built would just be destroyed. There's constant fighting and warfare. So that whole vineyard was the house of Israel, and it was destroyed. It was scattered. Throughout the world. And then you have obviously the Holocaust, which was the pinnacle of that. Okay, so now we want to get into the 6 woes that Isaiah pronounces in the name of the Lord. By the way, he's speaking in the name of the Lord, right? He's just prophesied what's going to happen to the house of Israel. Remember, this is prophetic because this was way before it happened. And now he's going to say, woe unto them that join house to house, and that lay field to field, till there be no place, that they may be placed alone in the midst of the earth. So basically, greedy, covetous people, right? It says covetousness in here. Be left to dwell alone. The wealthy landowners absorb the small farms of the poor. Haven't you seen that happen? So all these little family farms kept getting bought up by these big conglomerates, these superannuation accounts from over foreign, like Canadian or American or Chinese investors. They come in and they buy up all these family farms in this area, and then basically your community disappears, right? And you've just got people going out there for work, and then that's it. There's no schools closed because there's no kids being born. The hospitals in the area suffer. There's not enough patients, that they close. Like doctors' clinics close, banks close. This is what you're seeing in rural Australia, and other parts of the world, no doubt, because of this greed of having to own everything. 9, and mine ears said the Lord of hosts, of a truth many houses shall be desolate, even great and fair, without inhabitant. Yea, 10 acres of vineyard shall yield 1 bath. I'm not sure what a bath is. And the seed of an homer shall yield an ephah. So basically saying, what you thought was going to be a good produce has now become less. And verse 11 is the second woe. Woe to them that rise up early in the morning, that they may follow strong drink, that continue until night, till wine inflame them. And the harp and the viol and the tabret and the pipe and the wine that are in their feasts. But they regard not the work of the Lord, neither consider the operation of his hands. Okay, so there's the second woe, is the people that regard not the Lord, because they're too busy drinking, eating, being merry. Therefore, my people are gone into captivity because they have no knowledge, and their honorable men are famished, and their multitude dried up with thirst. Okay, did you get that? The people have gone into captivity because they have no knowledge. They're not thinking about the purpose of life, keeping God's commandments, doing the right thing. They're more just wanting to have a good time and break the commandments. And the honorable men are famished. When it says they're famished, they starved spiritually, right? They don't, and they're thirsty for the Lord's. They're walking everywhere in the world trying to find the truth, but they're never going to find it. They're always thirsty. They're constantly thirsty and hungry, looking for something, but they never find it because they're looking in the wrong places. Therefore, hell hath enlarged herself and opened her mouth without measure, and their glory and their multitude and their pomp, and he that rejoiceth shall descend into it. And the mean man shall be brought down, and the mighty man shall be humbled, and the eyes of the lofty shall be humbled. So the Lord's telling us there, woe unto you because of that, because you're going to be humbled. But the Lord of hosts shall be exalted in judgment, and God that is holy shall be sanctified in righteousness. Then shall the lambs feed after their manner, and the waste places of the fat ones shall strangers eat. Okay, so I'm not quite sure exactly what he means by that, but we know that it's tied in to the fulfilling of the prophecy of the Lord coming back. And, they're going to be all humbled, and he's going to be there to reign and execute judgment. Okay, the third word, woe unto them that draw iniquity with cords of vanity, and sin, as it were, with a cart rope. Okay, so this is got here. They are tied to their sins like beasts to their burdens. Okay, woe unto those that draw iniquity with cords of vanity, and sin, as it were, with a cart rope, that say, let him make speed. This is interesting. Let him make speed and hasten his work, that we may see it. And let the counsel of the Holy One of Israel draw nigh and come, that we may know it. So they're tempting the Lord there, right? They're sign seeking. Let him make speed and hasten his work. So they want to see it. They want to know it for themselves, rather than letting the Lord just carry out his own work. Right? They want to have the proof. And then so that was the third one, right? 1, 2, that was the third one. So here's the fourth one. Woe unto them that call evil good and good evil, that put darkness for light and light for darkness, that put bitter for sweet and sweet for bitter. Woe unto them that are wise in so there's number 5, and then there's number 6 pretty close behind. So let's just go with number 4. It's woe unto them that call evil good and good evil, that put darkness for light and light for darkness, that put bitter for sweet and sweet for bitter. Aren't we seeing that in the world today? Right? Calling good evil, evil good. It's all over the place. If you can't spot it, pray the Lord will open your eyes, right? Because it's everywhere. Number 5. Woe unto them that are wise in their own eyes and prudent in their own sight. So this is pride, right? You think you're wise, and you think you're prudent, but the Lord has other plans, and he sees things differently. Woe unto you. So basically, he said, don't trust in the arm of flesh, trust in the Lord. It's a woe on you because you're rejecting the counsel of God. You're rejecting his commandments, and you're trying to do things yourself. All right, that's why there's a woe there. And the last one, 6. Woe unto them that are mighty to drink wine, and men of strength to mingle strong drink, which justify the wicked for reward, and take away the righteousness of the righteous from him. Okay, so there's a couple of things in there. It's going back to talking about strong drink, wine, being drunken. But this part here, which justify the wicked for reward, this is basically talking about injustice, right? You're depriving people of their legal rights. You're giving your bros, your friends, positions, or letting them get off when they've committed fraud, crimes, whatever. They get off lightly and just a slap on the hand, whereas other people get the full weight of the law, like it's injustice. And we see that quite a bit too. There's a bit of nepotism and all those kind of things happening in society. Therefore, as the fire devoureth the stubble, and the flame consumeth the chaff, so their root shall be as rottenness, and their blossom shall go up as dust, because they have cast away the law of the Lord of hosts, and despised the word of the Holy One of Israel. So that's what I was saying before, right? These woes are pronounced because they're casting away the law of the Lord and despising his word. Therefore is the anger of the Lord kindled against his people, and he hath stretched forth his hand against them, and hath smitten them. And the hills did tremble, and their carcasses were torn in the midst of the streets. For all this his anger is not turned away, but his hand is stretched out still. Okay, so even though he's pronouncing these woes, and even though he's saying, this is what's going to happen to you people for rejecting me and despising my words, my hand is still stretched out. So if you turn around, if you repent, if you come back to me, we can sort this out. And 26, and he will lift up an ensign to the nations from far, and will hiss unto them from the end of the earth. And behold, they shall come with speed swiftly. Isn't that interesting? So the ensign, this hiss is like a whistle, it says here, i.e. a signal for the gathering. So an ensign to the nations from afar, and will whistle to them for the gathering, for them whistle unto them from the end of the earth. So it's from a far country that this is going to happen, and they're going to come with speed swiftly. This great ensign. What do you think that is? What do you think that is? None shall be weary nor stumble among them. None shall slumber nor sleep. Neither shall the girdle of their loins be loosed, nor the latchet of their shoes be broken. Whose arrows are sharp, and all their bows are bent. Their horses' hooves shall be counted like flint, and their wheels like a whirlwind. Their roaring shall be like a lion, and they shall roar like young lions. Yea, they shall roar and lay hold of their prey, and they shall carry it away safe, and none shall deliver it. And in that day they shall roar against them like the roaring of the sea. And if one look unto the land, behold darkness and sorrow, and the light is darkened in the heavens thereof. So, yeah, it's talking about spiritual darkness, right? So there's going to be this ensign to the nations that's established in the last days to help gather scattered Israel, right, from the four winds, from the four quarters of the earth, to bring them back. None shall stop it. No one's going to stop it. It's going to happen. And it's going to be like a roaring lion. He's using symbolism here, but it's modern technology, right? Horses' hooves, all these kind of things. It's like trains, planes, automobiles, all the things that we're using today. He's kind of describing in his old language, because he doesn't know what the words are for these things. But anyway, there's going to be an uproar about it. People are going to fight against this because of the spiritual wickedness of the world. But it's going to happen. There's nothing they can do about it. Nothing they can do to stop it. Isn't that exciting? We live in those times. Fantastic. That's chapter 5 of Isaiah. So just remember the Lord's vineyard and what he prophesied about the Lord's vineyard in there. And then the 6 woes. One of them is pretty obvious right now. Calling good evil and evil good. There's a woe pronounced upon people that do that. So let's not be one of them. Anyway, thanks for watching. Hope you got something out of it. And hope you're enjoying Isaiah like I am. It's full of good stuff. Anyway, enjoy your study.